This is honestly what I've always thought. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer, everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Megan Bos. I brought you that story when Megan was still considered a missing person not long after her body was found. And it was found in a garbage can sitting outside of someone's house next to their garage, filled with bleach. And it sat there for weeks and weeks and weeks as the person who put her there watched outside of his window as her family and friends scoured the neighborhood looking for her, putting her posters with her missing information and her smiling face all over the neighborhood, knocking on his door. He just sat there and ignored it and went on with life like nothing had happened until finally he was arrested. Now, even though they could not prove anything when it came to specifics, he was also an illegal alien at the time and still is, and they released him. Even though they couldn't, again, put any specifics on Megan's death, he was still here illegally against the law, and they released him because of the Safety Act in Illinois, which is, again, something that definitely needs to be removed from existence. Whoever thought it was cute to be soft on criminals, what the hell is actually wrong with you? So after his release, Megan's mom, Jennifer, really started putting in a lot of work. She went to the White House. She spoke to Trump. After speaking to Trump, all of a sudden, home dude is arrested by ICE. And he's been sitting in a cell waiting for what was going to happen. Now, there was a trial date set for November 10th, 2025. His charges were just upgraded. So I don't know if they're going to need more time to work on this upgraded charge or what's going to end up happening, but let's go ahead and look at the updates. Now, I'm recording this on October the 18th, but this was published by a local station, local company, local news place on October 17th, 2025 over in Illinois. Prosecutors upgrade charges against Mexican national, say Megan Bos's death in Waukegan was by homicidal means. Yeah, again, that's how I sort of figured. Prosecutors have upgraded charges against a Mexican national accused of dumping the body of missing Antioch woman Megan Bos in Waukegan, saying her death was by homicidal means. A grand jury returned an indictment in Lake County Circuit Court charging Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, 52, old and dumb, of Waukegan, with one count of concealment of a homicidal death, according to the documents obtained by the news place on Friday, same day they wrote this. Mendoza Gonzalez also faces previously filed charges of abuse of a corpse, 2 counts of concealing the death of a person, and obstructing justice. A grand jury indictment says Mendoza Gonzalez knowingly concealed the death of Megan Bos, 37, while having knowledge that she had died by homicidal means when he placed her body in a garbage can and covered the can on or about February 19th, 2025. She wouldn't be found until April. Megan Bos was reported missing to the Antioch Police Department on March 9th after she was last heard from on February 17th. Her body was discovered bleached, decomposed, wrapped in a blanket, and in a trash can at the home in the 700 block of Yeoman Street in Washington on April 10th. Not just bleached, according to her mother, who I speak with on Facebook sometimes. The trash can was filled with bleach. She was floating in bleach. She wasn't just bleached and wrapped in a blanket. The trash can was filled with it. Okay? For 2 months, sitting in liquid outside in a rubber trash can like the trash cans that your trash man comes and takes from the side of the street. Mendoza Gonzalez, a Mexican national, told detectives at the time of his April arrest that Bos had come over to his residence on the evening of February 19th and visited with him. Now, the story was that she was with some friends and they were in a bar parking lot and the car wouldn't start. And the friend went inside the bar to wait for somebody to come and help them with the car. She didn't want to go in the bar. So she went and walked to this guy's house because he lived nearby and she's known him for like 2 years, I think it said. He said that Bos snorted unknown substances and asked if she could hang out in his basement, which he agreed to let her do. That was his original story. Mendoza Gonzalez said he returned and believed the woman had overdosed and was deceased. He said He heard or thought some plumbing thing was leaking upstairs. So he left for all of 5 minutes and came back and she was gone. Okay. He reported that he was scared that he was going to be in trouble, so he left her in the basement for a few days before moving her to the garbage can in his yard. He doesn't live alone. He has roommates that we have not heard from. So I just really love to know how you hide a body in a basement for 4 days without your roommates knowing. Like, I could see him being home alone and being able to move her. But how do you hide an entire body? I mean, maybe people just don't go down to their basements as much as I think they probably do. I don't have a basement. I've never had a basement. I have an attic. I don't have a basement. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But he did not live alone, and that's important. Mendoza Gonzalez allegedly wrapped Bos's body, which was bleached, in a blanket before placing it in the garbage can. And again, that makes it sound like he just threw bleach on her body, wrapped her in a blanket, and put her in a garbage can. And he might have put bleach on her before he wrapped her in the blanket, but he also filled the garbage can with bleach. The whole thing. She remained there for nearly 2 months until being located on April the 10th. Mendoza Gonzalez also admitted to breaking Bos's phone and throwing it in a trash can, I believe at his work. An autopsy on Bos performed by the coroner's office showed no signs of trauma or a struggle. Lake County Sheriff Deputy Coroner Steve Newton told Lake and McHenry County Scanner on Friday that her cause and manner of death remain undetermined, despite the state's attorney's office declaration of it being a homicidal death. There's something else that they know. Other details can make that factor true, so there's got to be something else. Lake County Assistant State Attorney Jeffrey Fracklum said this week that the autopsy report from the coroner's office indicated Bos had a potentially lethal amount of controlled substances in her liver tissue at the time of her death. So I'm guessing they think that he purposely did it. Because I've also just wondered, was he her dealer? Because she was in and out of rehab. Her mother is very open about Megan's substance issues. It basically started after she lost her brother, after Jennifer lost her son, is when it really started up for Megan. So she's very open about it. And Megan has a daughter that Jennifer has been raising. Beautiful little girl. But she's open about that whole entire thing. So that's been one of the things that I've wondered, is if he was her dealer and he was dealing mixed up stuff. Because I don't know. I don't know who this man is. I don't trust nobody. You're already here whenever you're not supposed to be. You're not doing things the right way because you're probably doing something you're not supposed to be doing on top of what you're not supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? The report indicated recent and potentially deadly fent, Coca-Cola, and H. Because, I got to speak U2Bs for the majority. A forensic pathologist could not fully rule out a death due to the decomposition of her body. Regardless of the undetermined finding of the cause of death, charges of concealment of a homicidal death are now appropriate. The fact that the coroner labeled Megan's death as undetermined does not preclude a charge of concealment of a homicidal death. See, that still leaves the question to if they think that he was the one who caused the homicidal death, or if somebody else caused the homicidal death and he just put her in the garbage can. But he also could have done all of this not by himself, so we just don't know. The autopsy report detailing the toxicology results must be read in conjunction with other factors of the case, including defendant's statements that he observed Megan consume these things, and shortly thereafter, she passed away, as well as his statement that she was already gone when he placed her in the garbage bin. When Mendoza Gonzalez was initially charged, he was released from custody following a first appearance court hearing on April 12th, which a judge was required to do because of the state law under the Safe T Act. And again, down in the description box is a link for a petition to help get rid of this damn thing. Megan's mom, Jennifer, has been making moves all over the place, getting people from all kinds of different walks of government to help get rid of this damn thing. It is making moves, but a lot more work needs to be done. All of the initial charges against Mendoza Gonzalez were Class 4 felonies, but none of them were detainable offenses under the cashless bail law, so prosecutors could not file a petition to have him held pending trial, even though he was here illegally. Even though he was in this country illegally, they still let him out. $0. I don't get it. The Department of Homeland Security said agents arrested Mendoza Gonzalez, who was in the country illegally, in July at a market in Chicago, leading to him being held in ICE custody. Now, remember, I played this portion in one of the last updates. Her mother, Jennifer, went to the White House, spoke to Trump for all of maybe 30 seconds. It's all on video. And she tells him how the situation. She sums it up really quick because he instantly is like, just watch and see, or wait and see what happens. Something like that. And instantly, within like 24, 48 hours, somewhere around there, home dude was arrested by ICE. It was honestly beautiful. The Lake County State's Attorney's Office previously said it would seek to have Mendoza-Gonzalez held locally. As we have told the family, we believe that a criminal trial and sentencing is more appropriate than deportation procedures. And I agree. He deserves to be punished here in this country because he took away an American citizen. Once we're done with him, they can kick his ass out. But no, he deserves to be punished here. And honestly, when there's somebody here illegally and they do something in this country and they are supposed to be in another country, there should be a whole separate system for that situation. And they all just go to that exact same system. And there should be delegates from each country that work with the people here in our country so that everything is done in order. But, that's just too organized for the way that people run things. So Mendoza-Gonzalez is charged with several felonies, which can result in potential consecutive prison sentences upon a conviction. Well, I would hope so. As people know, deportation to another country does not lead to prison in that country. It does not. If he were to agree to deportation, he could be free within days to run free in Mexico, eating tacos and having all the fun and drinking all the beer, okay? Like he didn't just do all kinds of crazy shit in this country. That's exactly why he needs to be punished here, and then we can kick him out. We are hopeful that he will be brought to court so that he can be held fully accountable for his actions. Now, the last time they had anything in court, he was there via Zoom, and it looks like they're trying to have him moved from where he's being detained right now to the local area, which is honestly the way that it should have been. The newest charge against Mendoza-Gonzalez is a detainable offense based on willful flight, and prosecutors have filed a petition to detain him in the Lake County Jail once he is processed on the new charge. The release of Mendoza-Gonzalez in April prompted local leaders to be outraged at the matter. Yeah, not just local leaders, people everywhere. Antioch Mayor Scott Gartner spoke out and called for immediate reforms to the Illinois Safety Act to restore judicial discretion and refocus Illinois' criminal justice system on public safety and human decency. How about just actually punishing people for being pieces of shit? That would be nice, for once. We all have lost common sense when it comes to enforcing law and order. That is putting it so lightly. So lightly. When the Safety Act was being debated, there were voices sounding the alarm about what could happen if it were to become law. Prosecutors said that while Mendoza-Gonzalez was on pretrial release, he violated his 24-hour curfew by traveling to Chicago. Of course he did. I mean, come on now. He was living here illegally. He was a criminal. You think he's going to give a shit about your laws? That's where y'all are dumb as hell. Mendoza-Gonzalez appeared in front of an immigration judge in September and indicated his desire to voluntarily be deported from the United States back to Mexico because he knows he's going to be walking free within a couple of days. Of course you want to go back. Which prosecutors worry will allow him not to face the pending criminal charges. Exactly. It's just not going to happen. They need to... Let's make an example out of somebody, please. Please. Mendoza-Gonzalez remains held by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement at the Clay County, Indiana Justice Center as of yesterday, Friday. Lake County Judge Victoria A. Rossetti issued a failure to appear arrest warrant for Mendoza-Gonzalez on Thursday. I guess that's how they do things, even though technically it's ICE's fault he didn't appear. I'll say that. Because right now he's not on his own cognizance, or however they put it. Like, he's not responsible for his own actions at this moment because somebody is restricting his movements. But I guess it's just how they do things. I don't know. Rossetti scheduled a case management hearing for Wednesday and a jury trial for January 26th. Okay, like it says, it was originally for November 10th, and that was one of my original things, was if now that they have this new information, are they going to have to push this back some? They're pushing it back a couple of months at least. So yeah, it's going from November 10th to January 26th of 2026. We'll be watching. Now, there are no further updates when it comes to the case itself, but we do have the Lake County Jail population report as of the day that I am finishing up this edit, November 12th, 2025. It shows that Mendoza-Gonzalez was booked in on 10/23/2025, so he is actually being held in the local jail until trial, which again is not until the end of January 2026. It does show on the court calendar the entire week blocked out from the 26th to the 30th. I'm going to assume just for this trial. But again, I want to reiterate, they are not claiming that he is the one who took her life. They are claiming that he concealed a body after knowing that the life of that body was taken via homicidal acts. So I guess they could eventually end up being able to prove that he is the one who took her life, but that is not where this is sitting at this current point in time. Well, that's it for the updates, but I will leave you guys with this. There is going to be not only a link to sign the Safety Act petition to get that damn thing out of here, there's also going to be a link to a publication on thefederalist.com. Jennifer Bos, who is Megan's mother, wrote an article about the situation, what she had to do to get this guy actually arrested and put behind bars. It's about a 6-minute read. It's really well put together. I don't want to read this to you on camera because the URL deserves the traffic. They need to see that people care about this case. So instead of me reading it out to how many ever people watch this video, I'm just going to put the link and I want you guys to click it and go read it yourselves. It gives you the perspective of what's happening from the mother of the victim's point of view going through this entire thing. It's really well put together. So let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments if you guys take a look. And also let me know what you guys are thinking about the way this case has been handled. There's so much messed up everywhere. It's just wild that this is considered normal. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that that notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives. See y'all.